Tate Lyle is a corn refiner. We turn corn into food and industrial ingredients.
Corn sugar.
Corn sugar, absolutely. It's a great product.
Not high fructose corn syrup, but it's corn sugar.
I think that's a much better description of the ingredient.
Workers' comp has been getting a lot of headlines for prison guards turning keys, but I imagine that there's a bit more of the work at Tate Lyle is going to be a bit more rigorous than turning keys or typing. What's the I don't want to say typical, but what sort of comp claims do you see?
Well, we're a manufacturer, so I think our experience with workers' comp cases and injuries is probably very typical. But safety is such a high priority at Tate Lyle that I think the best work comp case is the one that you never had. So we really concentrate as much of our efforts on preventing injuries as we are even more concerned about preventing injuries than we are about how they're treated and how much they cost the company afterwards.
How much does it cost? How much time, how much energy, how many people are dedicated to preventing workman's comp or dealing with it? What are the insurance rates? That has to be one of the biggest costs of business.
Well, overall safety and preventing injuries, it's everyone's job at Tate Lyle. But when an injury happens, it just takes time from management, supervisors, support staff, from lawyers, from doctors. So the costs really add up over time. So it's something that we're very interested in not only addressing the cause, but the cost, and that's why we're hopeful there will be some workers' comp support in the legislation here this session.
I mean, there's a lot of corn in Iowa, there's a lot of corn in Nebraska, a lot of corn in Indiana. Could you guys move? Is this the type of thing that is only going to be in Decatur? If Illinois doesn't become a better business state?
Well, I think Illinois has been our home for 100 years. We're not likely to move, but as you look at the cost of doing business, where do you expand your operations? So you look at any number of things. You look at energy, you look at taxes, you look at workers' comp costs, and workers' comp is one of those real keys because we feel that's a controllable cost. That's why it's so important to get our arms around it with some new legislation.
You've got manufacturers, you've got retailers of all different shapes and sizes. How is it easier for a large company like Tate & Lyle, or because you have so many more potential problems, who's it tougher? Big companies, small companies? How does it differ for somebody who's got 50 people?
That's a hard one because I only work at a fairly large company, and I guess I'd call us a medium-sized company. But I think it's a situation that where the larger you are, the more opportunities you have to have people specialize in it, so you can really concentrate on trying to control the costs that you can. Smaller companies, because they have so many more things on their plate, it's a little bit more difficult for them to really concentrate on that. That's why they're dependent on groups like the IMA, IRMA, to really help them address some of these things that they don't have time to do on their own.
What can lawmakers do? What is it that you're looking for? It's going to be a compromise. Not everybody's going to get what they want, but what has to be part of that compromise?
We're looking at the bottom line. Reduce our costs as much as possible because we need to be as competitive as possible. Our company competes on a global basis. It's not just here within Illinois. We sell our ingredients all over the world. We need to be competitive with companies all over the world. So we really need to look at this as an area of reducing our costs to keep us competitive and to make us even more competitive for down the road.
I know that last time I heard the governor talk about this, he talked about how Illinois' economy is growing, exporting, but when you add up all those global costs, 2-3% margins can make a difference.
Absolutely, and we're looking at any number of things that we need to be more competitive, but the workers' comp issue is certainly one that we feel needs to be addressed.